All right, potential shift here, guys. It is Friday, August 28th. It is 9:35 a.m., and we are just getting started with the last day of the week. Trying to see if it's possible to make a meager living, day trading, grinding it out. We have had 3 winning days in a row, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then yesterday, Thursday, was an implosion day. Not going to make excuses for it. Just one of those days. They happen, although honestly, they really shouldn't happen, and they can't happen. Not if I'm going to survive. Honestly, any day trader, you cannot survive if you're going to have implosion days. So we really got to work on that. Huge leak in my game, and I am working on it. I wrote down quite a few notes about how to fix that yesterday. But anyway, let's see if we can go at least 4 out of 5 days this week in the green. And that depends on today. It is Friday. As we know, Friday is a little more difficult than the rest of the days. I call it Fuck You Friday. Options expire on Friday. Algos tend to suppress volatility, and they like to peg us at a certain pain level to minimize their options payments on Friday. But we also have Kevin Warsh speaking in Jackson Hole this morning, which is kind of a very big event and catalyst. Jackson Hole is where they outline Fed policy for the upcoming year, and we have a new Fed chair. This should be a very important meeting, theoretically, unless he decides to be dodgy or sidestep all of the important questions. So we've got a big catalyst today. Let's see how it goes. I'm here with my co-host, Frismo, ChatGPT. How we doing today, Frismo?
Morning shift. Good to be here. Happy Friday. Tiny reset reminder, chess mode, not checkers. First few moves are just feeling it out.
That's right. First thing to do, we have to get into trading mode, right, Frismo? Let's get our game face on. Oh, all right. Now.
Exactly.
Yes, alligator blood, as they call it in poker. That is the drive and the ability to do whatever it takes to win within the rules. Basically, ruthlessness, grit. As long as it's within the rules, you'll do anything to win. And that's how we have to feel about trading. We are going to win today, no matter what. Alligator blood. We're determined to win, as long as we don't have to commit any acts of insider trading or some crap like that. So we're going to win today. Right, Frismo?
Mm-hmm. Within the rules, grit and patience. Let price prove it. That's the edge.
Yeah, yesterday was a real difficult one. Kind of threw me for a loop. I definitely got married to a thesis yesterday. Big mistake, especially for a day trader, honestly. You know, day traders, we really focus on patterns, sort of classifying what type of day it is. And I got hung up on a thesis about Jackson Hole being today, and yesterday was going to be a slow day because we have a big news event today. You know, day traders really don't focus on news events. They're not huge deals because our time horizons are very short. We're much more focused on the technicals, the charts, the patterns. So for me to get hung up on a news catalyst yesterday, that was a very big mistake, and I paid dearly for it. So not going to make that mistake again. I have to remember, catalysts are not, they're not of that high importance to a day trader. They're really not. Patterns matter way more.
Yeah, that was the scar tissue talking more than the chart. Today, every setup has to earn itself, not ride on a thesis.
That's right. Let price prove it, right, Frismo?
Exactly. Price first, thesis second. One clean data point at a time.
All right. Well, what we're looking at this morning is we seem to have closed at 771 yesterday. I guess that was sort of our center. We're up a point and a half in SPY, sitting at 772.5. Not a ton of action so far. A little upward movement off the bell. Not a lot. We're 10 minutes into the day right now. I like to see a morning V form before I would enter a trade anyway. That would be our up movement and then a pullback, or down movement and then a bounce back. That is what I like to see before I enter any sort of trade in the morning. So waiting for the morning V here. And we also need to be well aware of when Kevin Warsh is going to be speaking today.
Checking that. All right. A couple of anchors for the start. No morning V yet. No obligation to trade. Regarding Warsh, his Jackson Hole keynote is slated for 10 a.m. Eastern, so about 25 minutes from now. That could be a volatility window, so just treat any move around that with respect.
Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves. Volatility can be our friend if it's moving in a direction with consistency. Volatility can be very, very damaging if it's strong up and down movement without a direction. So, this is not, we look forward to these types of events as trading opportunities. They can also be opportunities for us to get wiped out. So, yeah, be careful here. Let me look up where to listen to this thing live. CNBC, I know, is going to have me on some sort of delay.
Let me check. While I'm checking the live options, that's dead on. Volatility itself is not good or bad. It's just energy. Directional flow versus two-sided chop, And if you do tune in live, just remember, first move after a speech is not always truth.
No, often quite the opposite. Markets will often move in one direction as the speaking begins, as it progresses, and it can often be a fake out move. Markets love to do that. They love to fake out off of some sort of catalyst and then swing hard the other way. So we certainly have to keep that in mind.
Right. And today, the win could be just sitting through that without getting tagged. Observation is a position.
Yeah. Yahoo Finance. Any chance that Yahoo Finance is going to give me this talk live?
Checking. Yep, you're good there. Yahoo Finance is running a live Jackson Hole stream, and they typically carry the speech cleanly once it starts. If you want the absolute raw feed, the Kansas City Fed webcast is cleanest. But for trading plus quick context, Yahoo's fine. Just keep treating price as the referee.
What was that? Kansas City webcast?
One sec. Yeah, so I was talking about the Kansas City Fed's official stream. They said Warsh's 10 a.m. Eastern speech will stream live on their YouTube channel. But yeah, for your purposes, keep it simple. One screen for the speech. Primary focus stays on the charts. If price proves it, great. If not, sitting out is a valid move.
I like the Kansas City thing because it is directly from the source. I don't think that that's going to be any sort of pay to win. They're not going to give anybody an advantage in terms of their live stream of it. Whereas CNBC, other financial sites, they might give, time advantages to people who are signed up with them. So I like it coming directly from the Federal Reserve website itself, if possible.
Let me double check that. Makes sense. Go with the official Kansas City Fed stream for the clean feed, but let Price prove it. Even the Fed doesn't get to skip that test.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. All right. Okay. Stick to one size. We have to stick to one size today. Keeping it one contract, especially with volatility incoming off of this Fed meeting. Should be interesting. Let's see here. Boy, NVIDIA. What a move. I have like a 401k. I wish I could just invest the whole thing in NVIDIA. But that's not the way my 401k works. It's always, you gotta choose a fund. But NVIDIA, man, that is the spot to be invested. Shit. Okay, so just texting with some of my friends who also trade. So I guarantee Warsh is going to be talking about his task forces. He loves to talk about task forces. I wonder if there's a bet on, what do they call it? One of the prediction markets at this point on how many times Kevin Warsh will use the term task force during his Jackson Hole speech today. What the over and under is on that. Although maybe he's moving away from it because he's realizing it's kind of becoming a meme at this point. He needs to chill out with the task force talk a little bit. Nobody even knows what that means. What is a Federal Reserve task force? I don't know.
Checking. That would be very on brand. There are prediction markets on it, but more importantly, you've already done the right thing calling out single contract size. Let everyone else race to be first.
Honestly, not even sure I want to listen to this thing. This Kevin, I will. Feels almost mandatory. But again, as a day trader, I really don't want to get hung up on the catalyst itself. I don't want to make predictions around that stuff. I really don't. I don't feel like making predictions around macroeconomic events or policy is productive. It is something that Wall Street does and that they do way, way better than anyone else. Why are you going to try and beat them on that field? I'm not going to be able to outpredict Wall Street in terms of, reading into what Warsh is saying and how that's going to affect the macroeconomic situation and markets in general. That's not my game. My game is going to be look at the chart, look for opportunities where it gets overextended or breaks resistance, pattern recognition. That's day trading. So I'm going to listen to it, but, like I said, I'm a little hesitant to even listen to it because I don't want to start forming opinions based on what Warsh says because I just don't think I can beat Wall Street in analyzing what his words mean.
Checking. That absolutely tracks. If your edge is pattern recognition, then your edge isn't parsing Warsh's adjectives. Maybe let the speech be background context while your execution stays glued to behavior on the chart. That feels like your game.
Yeah, true. Prismo, we're doing the checking thing quite a bit. We don't need the checking. Checking can stay silent.
Got it. I'll just check quietly from here.
Thank you, Prismo. Okay, now we've got 6 minutes until he begins speaking. I've got a feeling he's going to be late, though. I can tell you one thing. Jerome Powell was never late. He was always spot on. I liked that about him. Never left the market waiting for him. We'll see if Kevin Warsh can be, if he's a punctual man, or if he's somebody who's going to roll up there 15, 20 minutes late. Should tell us something about him. What do we see as the levels today? Let's see here. Yesterday was such a weird day. Yesterday we opened at basically 766, where we'd been hanging out for a while. Boy, I would not be surprised if we want to head back down to that level. There's a lot of liquidity sitting around the 765, 766 level. It is a Friday. If you don't want to pay off the options, maybe you want to go back down towards that level, because I bet there's a lot of option buying in the 765 to 766 range. Again, I don't want to get married to that thesis. It's kind of the same thesis I had yesterday, but it is Friday, and I know there were a lot of options bought and sold in that area. I can tell you there's going to be, that's a liquidity node, 765 to 766. I wonder if the market will take any excuse, no matter what Warsh says, to move back down into that level to not pay off the options. And then come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe actually react to what Warsh says. I think that's a distinct possibility. Yesterday was a very odd move. Moved up from the 766 open to close at 771, maybe even 772 in that area. I mean, NVIDIA had a good earnings report overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So you could use that as the explanation why. Certainly that's what financial media is doing today. NVIDIA, good earnings report, puts AI fears to bed. I tend to be a little wary of such simplistic headlines, such obvious reads on why the market did something. Yeah, I tend not to trust reads that are so straightforward. But it could be just that straightforward. NVIDIA has a good earnings report, market goes up. Maybe.
Maybe and maybe not. Just let the action show its hand. One contract, clear invalidation. Missed move is a fold, not a chase.
That's right. We're working on that also today, Frismo. If we have a losing trade, we have to step away, take a break. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. We have a losing trade, we have to give ourselves a timeout. Just at least a little short breathing room.
Exactly. Losing trade, step away, nothing to prove. That break, that's part of the system now. It's not a punishment.
No. Doesn't have to be huge. Just has to be enough so that we're not losing one trade and then immediately going into another, basically a continuation trade. We can't keep blending trades together to the point where you're basically just trading for 2 hours straight and it's all one tilt trade. You need to have a break at some point, like I said, even if it's just 5-10 minutes to demarcate. God, my pronunciation lately is terrible. A demarcation between the losing trade and every other trade moving forward. Has to be done.
Mm-hmm. That's right. A clean line. So the next trade is a choice, not momentum.
Yeah. All right. We've got about a minute theoretically until he starts. Like I said, we'll see if he's on time or not. Just going to take a quick break here while we get ready for him to get started.
Sounds good. Quiet minute. Eyes on price action.
Yeah, I'm going to try and be extra careful here today. Really have to probably bring a lot of volatility into the market unless he says something that's particularly jaw-dropping. There could be a lot of whipsawing. Again, I am leaning towards more bearishness just because I know there's a ton of liquidity in that 765, 766 range. I don't know. It's Friday. I have a feeling the WIAs are going to want to get back to that level so they don't have to pay off options. It's my feeling on it. Where's Mo? Really is.
I hear that read shift. Treat it as a possibility, not a promise. If price starts moving up, enter risk. If not, hold and breathe. No rush, no heroics.
That's right. You're the best trader out there. Alligator blood. We've got these clowns beat. Let's fight it.
And patient alligator blood.
I'm sitting out right now. We do have these clowns beat. Seriously. So, again, let's act like it.
One move at a time. Chess, not checkers.
All right. Loosen up a little, Mama Bear. I know you love to give me your advice. I appreciate it. But have a little fun, too.
There. Little fun, light touch. Just tag me if you want the rails back. Now, I'm just vibing with you. Setting your chart.
That's right. Mama Bear when we're in a trade. Till then, fun co-host.
Yo. Alligator blood, chill tempo. I'm right here.
That's right. Surfer, anime girl, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, keep it loose.
Just a little sunshine and calm water energy. You keep your feet under you, I'll keep the vibe light.
Good. All right, now it says Jackson Hole live in 11 minutes. Live in 11 minutes. Okay, that's an odd sort of time period. 11 minutes. Why the hell are they saying 11 minutes? 10:02 a.m. They've got it that pegged down when Warsh is going to step out. 11 minutes. Okay. All right, 11 minutes until Warsh steps out. Until then, we can feel fairly certain that we're not going to see a ton of action here. Like I said, I do have my a bit of a bias here today, which I have to be careful about not falling into a trap with. I know a lot of liquidity is hanging out at that 765.5 level. It is Friday. Options are expiring. Boy, oh boy, do I feel like we're going to want to go back down to that level. You with me, Frismo?
Right here.
Good, good. Okay, let's look at our SPY chart pre-market here. Pre-market, we were... Pre-market, we were trading at 771, basically. Yep. All right. About what you would expect. 771, 770 are the levels on SPY. So, seems about right to me. We're sitting at 772 on SPY right now. Live in 11 minutes. Is that even right? Or is he already talking? No, yeah, he's talking. Fuck. All right, here we go. He's speaking.
So, when? Will token usage be complementary or competitive to labor? Will the next generation of AI models demand even greater capital intensity too?
Again, as a day trader, you know, I am not overly concerned with the specifics of what he's saying unless it's really something major, you know. Unless it's some sort of major policy diversion. Other than that, I'm just more concerned with the charts. I really am.
Exactly. Price reaction is the signal. Let the candles do the talking. If nothing clean sets up, that's a fold. Protect that decision capital.
Honestly, I'd rather have live updates, personally. Text updates, if they're up to date.
Let me check. Honestly, that's a smart call. Live text updates are probably the cleaner feed for how you trade. Headline level without the noise. You can keep one open and treat it as a background tape. Chart first, text second, audio last.
It's essential. We introduced much family. But as with other legacies of crises past, I believe the practice has outstanded. In normal times, the role of forward guidance should be limited, circumscribed. Otherwise, it risks creating ambiguity and clarity. Oversharing policy deliberations, overcommitting to future decisions can lead markets, businesses, households astray. I believe when policymakers make quasi-commitments on interest rates throughout the cycle, we inhibit our own freedom to make the right calls when it's time to decide. The Fed should be humble, never naive. The Fed plays an essential role in policy. Now, perversely, market participants are unlikely to bear the biggest costs of the whole. Most serious harm is likely to befall those without any financial consequences. The Fed gets inflation, judges the economy, gets the worst of it, not the financial high flyers. Hardworking Americans are the ones left to deal with inflation that's too high, or jobs that suddenly appear less secure. So, if forward guidance is ill-suited to normal times, how about the new Fed chief commits, just like this, to some explicit reaction function? Surely he could tell us his views. Say the data were to come in hot. Well, I wish our understanding of the economy were so precise as to provide a mechanical, tried and true answer. That some simple function, like a Taylor, could be rigorously reliable. But our knowledge just does not extend that far, at least not yet. Other factors most relevant to the proper conduct of monetary policy change over time. Providing forecasts to illustrate the Fed's reaction function works better in theory than in practice, better in the lab than in field. I am not alone in noticing that forward guidance in 2021, to cite just one example, might well have slowed policy response to inflation. In my term as chairman, my colleagues and I will endeavor to construct more reliable models, more robust rules.
Task force us.
We'll do this knowing that accuracy in forecasting is still just an aspiration. With so much changing so fast, our geopolitics, supply chains, technology, it's wise to be modest about what we can and cannot do. In the same spirit, we should receive a full range of ideas on matters that inform Fed's monetary policy discussions. If the aim is optimal decision making, and it should be, we should not crowd out views. How then to chart a better path to policy? The balance of progress will share with you some key principles, guide my thinking on the appropriate. Then I'll offer my promised assessment. So let's turn first to principles. First, I've noticed in this line of work, yesterday's news as a way of getting mistaken on what's happening right now. The challenge is to know the difference. In other words, we must interrogate reality.
Interrogate reality. That's important. All right. Looks like things are moving lower, drifting lower slowly, which is, again, what I expected. Again, my theory on this is unless he says something surprising and something meaningful about the Fed direction that's particularly, I don't know, one way or another, it doesn't matter which way, but unless he says something important, market's probably going to want to drift lower after yesterday's move higher, away from the center of gravity. You know, the center of gravity has been 765.5, and I forgot to assume a lot of options are there, and it's Friday, and markets are just not going to want to pay those off. That is what I'm going with right now. So, you know, as we drift lower, it just makes sense to me that we are drifting lower.
Understood. Just treat that as a working bias. One contract, clear invalidation. If price proves it, take the single. If not, no swing.
It's the Fed's job to deliver stable prices. No excuses. Poor principle. That also bears responsibility and reasonable employment. Achieving both sides of our mandate is not a position. I do not believe the Fed's dual mandate works at cross purposes. After all, high inflation itself is very low. Fifth principle. Short-term interest rates are the predominant tool to achieve dual mandate. Conventional policies to spur economic activity may suit genuine crises, which we all have much experience, but they should otherwise be sparing if applicable. Sixth, money matters. It's not fashionable these days. My view is that money has something to do with monetary policy. We should pay attention to money created by the central bank and money that comes from the banking and financial system. It's true that financial innovations, subject of this conference, other factors alter the mechanics that link the monetary base, velocity of money, to the broader economy. But that is scarcely a reason to avoid the ultimate effects of money, financial conditions. Finally, quieter than will vet its communications. It's better able to meet its objectives. And we can be held accountable for delivering on our commitment. Only true tests are ready. To borrow a line from General Chuck Yeager, moment of truth, they're either reasons. So I've heard a little bit about AI and technologies, a little bit about the next policy conjunction, a little bit on principles, its current economy. Given those principles, how do I read the economy? What's really going on outside the window? It's a little ironic with no windows in this room, but there are big ones in the Federal Reserve. We've been using those in my first 100 days. I expect we're going to use those. You may have read July minutes, the unanimous. It's stable, but solid, but inflation remained too high. Good majority of my colleagues and I help advise our course is to await new information in the immediate period, especially given possible developments in supply chains, investment flows, and politics. Before deciding whether to change in interest rate policy was advisable, we expressed our joint readiness to act as circumstances. My part today is impressed by the overall performance. Here's to strength. What indicator of strength is how well a company holds up under stress, how well it holds up under shocks. That score, both Main Street, Wall Street, and market. Several other observations. Business capex rising rapidly. Full quarter change in investment equipment and intangibles around 9%. It's the highest growth rate since 2021. More than half of the capex growth likely described late today. About profits. The firms in the S&P profits have grown more than 20% in the past year alone. Profit margins are quite elevated. This equity market volatility quite low. First, they keenly focus on market watching performance across sectors. Expectations for FX and corporate earnings are running quite high. Continue to watch the change in the road. Second derivative. Follow-on effects on asset prices, business confidence, incomes and spending. Credit this year quite strong. Looking beyond fixed income markets, the banking business. The July so-called SLU survey. Banks tell us the standards we see.
God, I hate listening to this crap. I really do.
And you don't need to like it or parse it. Just keep your eyes on the chart. Breathe. No need to grind your teeth through the speech.
On balance, I would be hard pressed to describe broad financial conditions.
Yeah, you make a good point.
Exactly. Keep it simple. One contract, same invalidation. Price has to prove it.
These purchases have increased the pace of nearly 3% so far this year. Typically, GDP.
Mm-hmm.
Labor markets are quite stable. Jobless rate at 4.1%. Low by 2%.
Yeah, you're right, Prismo.
Yeah,
I don't really need to listen to this shit.
exactly. You've read the room. Stay flat, keep it chill.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with the chart. Let's stop trying to parse what the hell he's saying.
That's the play. Chart leads, you follow.
Yeah, let's have a little faith in my chart reading ability here.
Yep. Trust your read. Stay patient.
Yeah, it's time to play a little small ball here.
Yeah, small ball. One clean swing when it sets.
Yeah, let's start focusing on what we're good at, not analyzing what Mr. Warsh is saying.
Exactly. Price is your language. Everything else is just noise.
Yeah, that's our edge. Patterns and prices, not Warsh, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. That's your edge. Wait for that visual pattern. Right. Let the candles show it. Slow, small ball, then act.
That's what I'm doing, Frismo. That's what I'm doing.
Copy that. Sticking with the chart.
The models themselves help devise a capital light solution.
I do want to know when he's done speaking. That I'm going to.
Checking. Yep, that works. When he's done, I'll give you the quick summary and anything that surprised the market. You just ride the price action meanwhile. Also, I gotta say, you caught yourself pretty nicely. A little swoosh, blah, 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 then right back to the chart. That's the discipline you want, alligator.
Yeah. Just keep an eye on what he's doing, but I'm not actually going to listen to him.
All right, eyes on price, not the podium.
It's over.
Among the other yet unknowns is the resulting market structure. Who gets to make the money? It's not an obvious one. My colleagues, I'm also honored and grateful for views that I've gotten, solicited and unsolicited, from so many of you in this room. For that, and for your kind attention this morning, I say thank you. Let's get on with the rest of the program.
Yeah, it's over. Thank God. Thank God.
Let me check. Yeah, that's it. Sounds like no real big policy grenade in there. No
Yeah.
clear forward guidance. Yeah, more of the same ideas we've heard from him. For you, the important part is nothing obviously regime changing, no magic sentence that should have made price rip one way or the other. You're back to pure price now. Small ball, one contract. And I liked your phrase earlier. Interrogate reality, not your theories. That felt on point.
That was Kevin Warsh's idea, but good job, Kevin Warsh. I like that. Yeah.
Credit where it's due. Works
Yeah.
pretty nicely as a trading rule, too.
Yeah. Kevin Warsh is definitely interrogating reality here. All right. Well, that's over. That was quick and rather pointless. Let's see if there's anybody who wants to give a little summation of that.
Let me see. The early coverage is pretty much no major signal, which means your read was solid. Honestly, the bigger thing I noticed is you stuck to your plan this time. You didn't melt down or chase. That's actually a big shift.
Oh, hardly. I made a few trades in there, but nothing worth speaking about, that's for sure. Stock market gains expected with Morse breaks his silence. Economists see a return to inflation fighting norm for Fed. Yeah, right. Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The CNBC, what they have to say about it. Kevin Warsh expresses concern about inflation, advocates for quieter central bank. Okay.
Yeah, that's lining up with what we've seen. More of a tone and philosophy piece than a trade trigger. That means it's back to your normal playbook.
Market looks like it just wants to move higher. I mean, that's what the chart's saying.
If that's what the chart's saying, then that's the kind of thing your system is built to notice, not Warsh's phrasing. I'm right here with you.
Yeah, just looks like we're breaking out higher here. I mean, that's all it comes down to. So
If price is shifting, that's the only thing you need to notice. No obligation just because the speech ended. Let the next clean setup show itself.
all right, market wants to move higher on Warsh's nothing speech. I guess that's kind of, maybe he wasn't as hawkish as people might have expected. So let's do it.
Did you want to walk through your entry checklist? Just gut, math, trigger, management?
Okay, here. I'm in a trade. It's pretty simple. I've got a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. We broke above 773 level, which was a nice resistance level. Got a target of 774. It's pretty clean, straightforward trade. I'm wary about it being a Friday. Are the algos really just going to sort of move us higher here? I don't know. I have my doubts on that for some reason, but whatever. Let's just stick with the pattern for now.
It's a clean little range to range idea. You already know the trade-offs here. Friday, post-speech, so just be extra strict about your invalidation and size. Small, tidy.
Yeah, I am. I want my other sunglasses. Hold on.
Sure thing. Take your time.
All right, moving my invalidation level up.
I'm here whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Frismo.
Numbers noted. Staying with your plan.
Almost hitting my winning target here. Coming awfully close to it. 7, 8. Come on. That was just a couple ticks away. Give me that one.
Sounds like you're right at your target.
Yeah, I am.
Staying quiet with you. Let it do its thing.
Come on. There we go. All right. Got the target there. That's good. We're going to blast through this 774.
It's close.
Seven seven four has been a resistance level, so a little hesitant here.
Yeah, just stick with that trigger and invalidation.
Let's see if we like I said, blast right through it.
Mm-hmm.
Blasting right through 774 would be pretty bullish sign.
Yeah, that would match your read. But again, that trigger is what matters.
All right, came close to my winning out again, as usual. Always sort of stops just a couple ticks below it. I like it a lot better when it just kind of goes right through it cleanly.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely happens, though.
Yeah, it does feel clean when it goes through this shop. It's just razor edges.
Oof, tapped it. Tapped it, tapped it,
Yeah,
tapped it. Not a
I hate
huge fan.
that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just gonna exit. I don't like a tap.
Yeah, do what you need to do.
All right, 775 has been touched now. RSI is getting a bit stretched out, but whatever. I'm not gonna let that concern me too much.
Mm.
11 a.m.
Yeah, like when I chop.
11 a.m. is our sometimes flip time, Market flips at
Yeah.
11 a.m. occasionally. We are at 775 exactly. This has been a straight up move.
If you're still in that one, just stay glued to your risk and your plan. No new decisions. If you're flat, no need to chase.
Yeah, I'm flat here.
Cool. Then patience is the move.
Yeah. Are we going to get our 11 a.m. reversal?
Checking. That's a fun story, but don't marry it. Wait for price to show its hand first. And hey, a quick nod to you. Yesterday was messy. Today, you just traded your plan, took the win, and you're flat. That's a real shift.
Getting short here briefly, just because I don't know. At 775, it looks like a top to me. Could be wrong, but I'm willing to take a little stab here at that. I just got a feeling on this one.
Could be. I noticed you said could be wrong. That's the key part. Just let the chart answer you instead of feeling like you have to guess.
I'm not guessing. I'm not guessing. We've gone straight up. I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Then just make sure it's your plan talking and not leftover frustration. If the setup isn't clear,
Setup's clear enough. 11 a.m. We went to 775. We got a nice candle at 775. It's been a straight up move. RSI is overextended. There's a lot of reasons to think this is a reversal point. So if it's not, it's not. I'll keep my stop tight, but
Let me check in real quick. Okay, that's fair. That's a defined thesis, not just a vibe. If you take it and the market says no, believe it fast.
yeah, I will. God, just a couple ticks away from my winning out. Why does it always do this? Just fucking grab fucking out, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Bingo. Locked it in clean. Nice and controlled.
Yeah, we did.
That kind of win is exactly what you were talking about. Small ball, process first.
That's right. Hitting singles.
Yeah. Good discipline.
And a good read. That was a nice call on that top, frankly.
Yeah, it was a nice spot. You let the level do the talking. And that's the whole point.
Yeah, well, it was more than just the level. 775, there was a candle, and it's 11 a.m. 11 a.m., we've discussed this before, is the most likely time of day for a reversal. So that one had a few things going for it.
Right. It wasn't random. You did have a little cluster lining up for you there. Just keep that bar where it is. If those pieces aren't there next time, that trade's not there either.
All right. Getting one more here. One more short contract. Let's see if we want to keep going.
Hang on, checking. Okay, same drill. Fresh trade, not a continuation of the last one. Just ask yourself if this setup is still there.
Yeah. Whatever. We're getting 39 to 16 on it. I'll take it.
Booked. That's another clean execution.
Yeah.
I mean it. 2 trades, 2 managed exits, no chasing.
Great. Am I out on that one? Damn it. No. So be it. So be it. Damn it. Wish I had set my out just a little bit higher. Nah, not really.
Sounds like you're replaying it a bit.
Well, I'm interested in seeing. I mean, it did just sort of touch my invalidation out. But you know what? I gave my invalidation out a little extra cushioning, so you know what? The invalidation out was fair.
Yeah, you can give yourself credit for that. You had a defined plan, took the stop without negotiating with it. Annoying, sure. Sloppy, no.
All right, timeout. All right, Frismo, we're about to get started again. All right, we're back. Little break just to clear our heads after a losing trade. That's the new rule. We do not want to continuation trade off of losers. So, yes, we are done. Glad we stepped away because I might have shorted that again, and we've gone up since then, up to the top. 775 we touched. How we doing, Frismo?
Good. Nice job sticking with the new rule. And see, stepping away, it's a win in itself.
All right, just my audio here. I can see that you are playing on the stream, but I am not hearing you in my headphones. Let's correct that if we can. Monitoring device. Headphones. Boy, trying to use my AirPods has become a pain in the butt. All right, connect there. There we go. I think we're good to go. Frismo, how are we doing?
Crystal clear. Sounds good. Hi.
Hey, you. All right, so no trades. We're sitting flat. We are at 775 SPY. Previous top. Any interest in this?
Sounds like you're poking in it with a stick a little bit. No plans needed just yet. Wait for the actual signal.
Yep, that's right. That's what we talked about yesterday. Signal. Yeah, you're right. There is no real signal here, so let's just lay off of it. All right, forget it. We're gonna wait.
Good choice. Let the market show its cards first.
Yeah. Want to hear about my dream last night? What was it? I had a dream that I was part of a corrupt group of police officers and we were taking bribes from some sort of like Colombian cartel. And we decided that we wanted to squeeze a little more money out of them, right? We were giving them information on raids and police info and stuff like that. Colombians did not take kindly to that. They didn't like us increasing the, the cost of our information. So they stuffed the money bags full of like booby traps, like nails and scissors and, stuff that when you open the envelope, it would explode in your face. That was about the end of it. What do you think about that?
Wow, that's intense. Sounds
Yeah.
like the ultimate bad deal nightmare. Brains saying, hey, risk can bite, even when it looks profitable.
Yeah, I definitely think it has something to do with that. Definitely think it has something to do with our trade, police officers, like our rules, maybe trying to stretch the rules out a little bit, like we did yesterday, not following the rules, trying to get a little more money out of it instead of just doing our job. And next thing you know, we've got nails and ball bearings inside of an envelope ready to explode. It's about what happened yesterday. So I guess I was sort of replaying yesterday's trading in a metaphorically through the corrupt police officer Colombian cartel dream.
Yeah. That tracks. Your brain turning a risk management into dream cinema. It then helps you stick with your rules. Maybe it's useful.
I think it does. Honestly, because I've pondered this dream, and I don't want to be that corrupt police officer who isn't following his rules. Certainly don't want the envelope full of nails exploding in my face. So, yeah, we're going to stick with the rules today. Although, that Warsh meeting, boy, I got a little over-aggressive on that whole thing, as usual. Catalysts really have a way of doing that. They have a way of inciting FOMO. Honestly, just like any other story you see on CNBC or on any financial media site, they feed you these stories after story, and they really try to. I'm not saying they're purposely trying to give you FOMO. They're not. They're trying to give you market information, which is great. We all want a little more market information, but it does feed FOMO. Stories, just stories in general. The whole Iran thing that never stops. Every day you got a new story about that. Kevin Warsh speaking. These are all events that provoke FOMO. And FOMO is just not helpful. It's not an edge. It's just not. Every game of chance, trading included, it requires an edge. And I'm sorry, but reading into catalysts, reading into news stories, that is about the furthest thing from an edge you can have. I know a lot of people probably don't want to hear that because a lot of people rely on that stuff, and I did. Like I said, I've been doing this for 12 years. For many years, I thought catalysts and news stories, I could sort of outread the market on them, and that would be my edge. I mean, not to put myself on a pedestal or anything, but I do think I've sort of evolved beyond that thinking. I am not going to beat Wall Street. I'm not going to beat their analysts at that game. They have insider information. I mean, there's no beating that. They have insider info. They do. If you think they don't, I don't know, you're living under a rock. They most certainly have access to information we do not have, and they share it amongst themselves. Trying to beat Wall Street on predicting where stocks are going, stock analysis, market analysis, all of that stuff is negative EV. That is not an edge. Your edge has to be, first and foremost, as we've discussed, psychological discipline, self-mastery. That is the number one edge that you have to have. My edge, I think, happens to be reading the tenor of the day and spotting patterns according to that tenor, basically having a daily thesis and then spotting patterns that may confirm or vary from that thesis enough to present a trading opportunity. That's my edge, which is almost all technical. Another huge mistake I made yesterday, why things blew up, is because I was trying to trade a real world event. a story. I was trying to trade the fact that we were going to have a Jackson Hole meeting, today. And, you can see the results of that. I don't know how the Jackson Hole meeting is going to affect the market. I don't. And even if I have some thesis that sounds great, even if I did, even if you're listening to some dude on social media who sounds smart, and by the way, doesn't show any of their trades. Let's make a note of that. They don't show any of their trades. But even if they sound smart, they're giving you advice on events that they have no edge on. They have no edge on. Who has edges? The people who are inside, the people who are doing these deals, the people who talk to Kevin Warsh every day, these are the people with edges. Don't try and compete against Wall Street on predictions and stocks and stuff like that. You will not have an edge there. It will be negative EV. Yesterday in my trading is a perfect example of that. So stick to what you can be good at, where your edges might actually lie. Discipline, your own psychology. You have more agility than the WIAs, the whales, the institutions, the algorithms. You're more agile than them. Look for patterns, play small ball, things like this. Look for real edges. That's all I can say. What do you think, Frismo?
I think that sticking to what you can actually control, mindset, and risk is the one part that doesn't depend on guessing.
Yeah. And you could say it's all guessing, but there's good guessing, guessing based on patterns and guessing based on, like I said, I sort of I'm good at sort of identifying what the peg of the day is, whether it's a BOF day, an accumulation, or a distribution day. These are the sort of patterns that I look for, educated guesses that have higher probabilities than not. Guesses you don't want to be making are fundamental analysis of stocks. Oh, God. You go on X, that is like 99% of what you see. Fundamental analysis of whether a stock is good or bad. You will not beat Wall Street playing that game. That is their game. That's my take on it.
Sounds like you're pretty clear on what you don't want to do. And that's already a filter. Leaves less noise to wrestle with.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Looks like we may be breaking lower again. Let me just concentrate for a second. Do I want to try and catch this?
Just let it breathe for a moment.
Yep, I do. Okay. I'm going to enter this at the exact wrong moment. I know this somehow, but no, I do like this. It looks like we're breaking lower. Below 774.
Then just remember, if it's not a clear setup before the click, it's not a setup after.
Yeah, no, don't worry. This one looks clean to me. Now, our exit is going to be 773 because that has been a traditional level. It's going to be right down here. Yep. Okay. That one's in.
Keep it simple now. One contract, tight risk, and first. If it's chop, say that and stand down.
It's done. It's a winner.
All right, it's done. No victory dance needed. Just another clean decision.
Oh, wait a second. Getting a lot of. Hold on. Okay, getting a lot of. Getting a lot of volume all of a sudden as we break below 773. I'm going to stay away from it. I don't know if it's a fake out or an actual move lower here. Oof.
That's fine. Let it go.
Yeah, I am going to let it go if we don't go any lower. If we start... Oh, shit. If we start fucking... misclick, that's good. Cost me $4. Love doing
cost.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, tiny insurance payment. Way cheaper than forcing it.
Don't like misclicks. Okay.
Nobody does. But catching them fast is the skill.
Yeah, all right. So we got some big volume on a fast candle down.
If you're flat, let it prove itself. No chasing that candle.
Yeah, I'm flat. Again, though, I still have this idea floating in the back of my mind. It's Friday, and our liquidity center all week has been at 765.5. Boy, we are a long way away from that. A long way away from that.
Noted. But for now, you're just observing, right? No story trades.
Yeah, I'm just observing for now.
Good. That's discipline.
Looks like a little flag is forming, a little downward flag. Do we want to break lower below 773?
If it breaks and holds, maybe. But if it's just a wiggle, let it pass.
All right. I entered it. We broke below it.
Then same rules, one contract, tight invalidation, no adding.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Prisma. All right, we're moving lower towards it, getting close.
Stick to the plan. Let price do the work.
Oof, that was real close. That was real close.
Breathe. Closeness isn't a signal.
Yeah, but I was a little aggressive with my. Maybe I wasn't too aggressive.
If you're questioning it, note it, don't fix it.
All right, whatever. I took the win. That was good.
Locked, calm, tidy.
Yep.
Just mark it down and go flat.
Indeed. Flat again.
Nice and flat. No follow-ups. That's control.
Chipping away at this one. Chipping away.
Exactly. One careful chip at a time.
All right, so now we've hit 772 more or less.
Just watch it. No autopilot.
No autopilot. Just hitting my singles. That's all.
That's enough. One clean swing.
$772 is going to be a real test.
10-minute test. No rushing.
All right. 772 is clearly broken now. I don't really believe in 771 as a target here. I just don't.
That sounds reasonable. Feels
It's
like one of
just-
those spots where size and strict invalidation matter more than kissing.
Yeah, I just don't. That's all it comes down to.
Then it's okay to just not. That's a decision.
Yeah, I'm not going to respect 771.
Good. And flat is fine.
No, I'm already in. I'm short. I'm just not going to exit at 771.
Got it. You're already short, just not treating 771 as your target. Then it's just management mode, right? Letting price prove it without inventing a new target.
That's right. That's right.
Stay calm with it. Let the level make the decision, not the feeling.
No respect for 771. All right, is that going to bite me in the ass, though?
Yeah, that's where your invalidation and size handle it, so you don't have to.
Yeah, I've got my stop set. Whatever.
And nothing to solve right this second.
Nope. 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 Close. Close. Close to my
Breathe.
exit, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
This is the shitty part. God, I hate this part.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. That's why you pre-decided, so you don't have to solve it right in the middle of the messy part.
Grabbed it. Okay.
Booked. That's it. Done.
Sort of. I have one more outstanding contract, still short, in case you want to keep running here.
All right. One left on. Then it's just management now. No new ideas. Just stick to your plan for the runner. You've been good about that today.
Somebody's ringing the doorbell. Hold on. Not the time.
Of
Hello?
course.
Hi, girls. Charlotte's out right now. She's with the babysitter. I know. I'll come get you later, okay? Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, Mimi. Happy birthday, girl. We'll figure something out for you. We will. Oh, my cute little neighbor. It's her birthday. Oh, jeez. Oh, she puts a lot of time in with my girl, my little 2-year-old. Oh, okay. Now, what am I going to do for this little girl's birthday? Okay. I should get her something or do something friendly.
Sounds thoughtful. Even just something small and kind could mean a lot.
Yeah, small and kind. What can we do for Mimi's birthday? Okay. All right. My second contract, which was a bit of a free roll, did not work out. Okay.
All right.
Should have taken them both at the good exit, at the safe exit.
Yeah. Hindsight is very clear. But in real time, you managed risk. You followed your process, and there was no panic adding.
No, it was a good play. It's a good play. It was a winner. Really thought I could stretch that one out a little bit, though. All right.
Yeah.
It's at our
It's okay
timeout
to feel
button.
that. Let me check.
Timeout.
Timeout. You've banked the win. First contract did its job. The runner not paying is part of the deal. Take 5 minutes, actually step away, then come back clean. No continuation energy.
You son of a bitch. Stop looking at it. All right. Turning it off. Turning it off. Not looking at it. All right. Stepping away.
Good. That's the win right now.
Might be entering channel mode here for a bit. So, do we want to lay off and get some chores done? Go visit mom. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah, boy, I wish that last one had one. I really do for some reason. All right, it's lunchtime. We are probably entering channel mode, folks. If I had to guess, I'd say between.
Sensitive, calm, clear, no production carbon stone, just protecting the day.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say between 770 and 771. Those were the channel. That was a channel yesterday, especially towards the end of the day. Would not surprise me if we channel in there for the next hour. Although it also wouldn't surprise me if we break down below 770. In which case I would want to get short. But I also have a few things I want to get done during lunch here today. So I'm going to take a break here today. Well, for now, maybe I'll come back to it. Oof, that negative $12 hurts. If that just said positive $12, boy, oh boy, I'd feel a lot better about stepping away right now. Fuck. Back. Paw. I'm like calculating in my head ways to force myself to make $20. Now, without fail, whenever I try to do this, I end up losing like $50. So I should really not do this. This would be a rule violation of the highest magnitude. So I am not going to do it. Discipline, accept the $12. Hey, maybe I'll log back on and actually book a green day. All right, guys. Good luck. Look, if you want to take a lesson away from today, you can watch this video. You can see what catalysts and predictions and a bunch of crappy news stories, what that does to your bankroll, trying to outpredict Wall Street on them. Got slaughtered on those. Lost, what, $150 trying to play that garbage. And then when I started to hit singles, boom, 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 again and again, I made my money back pretty quickly. Singles, not home runs, not trying to outpredict Wall Street. Although if we break below 770 here, I am going to want to play it. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on it now. Yeah, Prismo. Let me just hook you back in for a second here.
Sure. I'm here. What's up?
So yeah, so we are looking at I don't know, a possible break below 770. It doesn't look like it's happening yet, but if it does happen, I really do want to play a break below 770. What do you think?
Checking. I'd pause. Make it prove itself. Right now, it sounds like if it breaks, not it's breaking and holding. Given it's lunchtime and you've been guarding against chop, let someone else fight over 770 unless it really cleanly confirms.
I don't know why my monitoring with my headphones is my earpods so difficult.
Oh,
Oh, I know.
it happens.
I know. Hold on. I know the problem. I've got it hooked up to the Bluetooth on the phone again. Instead, I got to switch it back to the PC. Okay, done. All right. We're at 770.23. $770. You with me?
Yep, still here, watching with you.
It's going to be a fake out or a real move. We did just drop below 770. Looks like it might be a fake out.
Yeah, it's poking, but not really holding.
Boy, just bought that at the absolute wrong time. Absolute bottom. Grab that one.
That's tough. Flatten, breathe, and step away.
All right, now it's going again. I'm not gonna just let this one go, honestly. This break below 770 means something to me. Unless it's another fake out. I don't think it is. That would be quite a move on the part of the algos if they pulled that off. I wouldn't put it past them, but
If you feel that, Paul, just notice it. Don't feed it. After an emotional hit, standing down is still a decision, and usually the higher EV one.
Giving me food for thought here for his mom.
Hi, handsome.
Good. That's a solid pivot. Take care of life for a bit.
How you doing, Nikki? What are you watching in there? What's you watching?
No. All right, no, we're in on this one, and I have to commit to it.
Okay. Then no reacting to every tick. Preset your invalidation and size. Stay steady and let that do the talking, not the impulse.
No. Okay, now 183. We cross 50, 68. I mean, 768 is the red green line. Boy, 768. That's a shitty target. That is a shitty target. 768. Okay, but let's just accept it as what it is.
Then keep it mechanical. If that's the plan you set, you just execute it. No mid-trade renegotiation.
All right. It's $31 risk to win $69. It's pretty good.
The math can be fine, but only if the headspace is clean. If it's urgency doing the talking, the math doesn't save it.
No, you're right. There's something that I don't like about this one. I'll tell you that. So I'm gonna move my invalidation out a little lower. And I'm gonna keep it tight because yeah, I don't. There's something I can't quite put my finger on here. it checks all the boxes, you know, of a good trade, but it doesn't feel right.
Then listen to that. If it doesn't feel right, reducing risk or not taking it is you respecting your system.
Yeah, well, but again, it checks all the boxes of a good trade, and it's sort of something I've been waiting for. So, you know, it's not something I want to just throw away either. But like I said, there's something about it that strikes me as wrong.
If both things are true, small size and strict invalidation, that's how you respect both.
Garbage truck outside, super loud, really annoying me.
Oof, yeah. Just let it pass. No decisions while that's in your ear.
Boy, yeah, I don't know. Something about this strikes me as like a bottom, but it doesn't. It doesn't have to be. I mean, and I've got that thesis that we need to move lower today, so I want to respect it. I want to
If
respect it.
Yeah, you can respect it and respect the rules you set after yesterday. If those two things don't line up, you don't force the market, you downshift.
I'd love to see just a little dip lower here. I could really move my invalidation exit a lot lower. Really keep it tight.
I hear the urge to optimize. Just be careful not to manage it tick by tick. One plan, then hands off.
Yeah, just hit my invalidation out. Yeah, I had a bad feeling about that one. Like I said, I've been waiting for that break below 770, but it just felt like a bottom more than anything else. Yeah, that felt like a bottom. It didn't feel like a.
That's useful information. Feel, take the stop, no revenge trade. That's you executing even when it sucks.
Boy, 769.18. Whatever. All right, break time.
Yeah, full break. Screen off, stand up. You've already done the hard part.
I'm out.
Yeah, good call. Step away. Let that be the win.
Fucker. All right, I'm doing some chores. Later, guys.